Again on another Sunday trading session. We're analyzing the DXY again. If you remember properly, last week we were expecting DXY to actually break levels and move to the upside, but that did not happen. I don't remember if it was this level here or it was this level here that the market was in at that time. But regardless of the levels, we're expecting the market to break and move to the upside. Now, because of certain factors that influence the market, price did not move as anticipated. Instead, it continued moving down in the downwards direction. And the factors that we did not consider are the fact that are basically the fundamental facts, the China Russia thing that's going on, and some other factors that actually influence the market to move in the downwards direction. As you can see on Friday, if you're noticing the charts, that the NFP results actually did move to the upside, but at the end of the day they ended up closing in an indecision. So some factors that we did not consider last week is the fact that there's this low that's here. This low here needs to come back and be retested. So we did not consider that, but there's also a high that's been left behind here. So what we expect for market to do now is for market to actually move down and retest this low here. That's what we expect market to do this week, because it did not move as it was supposed to move. But the other factor that we need to consider is that there's a level of structure here. If you're noticing here, price did bounce off, then it did a fake out. Now price is coming back to retest this level. So what we're looking at now, we're looking at a situation where we have now, let me draw a level. We're looking at a situation where we now have a level that's in this. We want to drop down time frames now so that you can see what I'm talking about. So if we drop down to 4 hour, we found ourselves in a position where we're in like something that's sort of, it looks like this. Wait. Good. So now we found ourselves with price that's in the middle of two levels, which is support, which is resistance, support and resistance. And if we drop down to lower time frame, we can see that the price is now reacting on the resistance level. Let's make this clear. So what we're looking at now, we're looking at something that looks like this. Looks like a flag, which is a valid thing. This is one of the things that we trade. So this now looks something like this. You understand? Price bounced off in this level. Price bounced off here and then bounced off here again, and as you can see, it's respecting this level here. So now what we're expecting here is for this smaller time frame flag to now go excuse me, to actually go to the sorry about this, to actually go to the downside. And I want to draw an arrow so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. We're looking for a situation that is now supposed to look something like this, and then it will consolidate probably something like this to the upside and come to this level. You understand? Now this is going to happen if this level here is respected. Let me write that level quickly. If this level here is respected, this is what we expect for price to do. So it's either we enter trades here and write it down, or wait for the breakout confirmation and a retest of this trend line before taking price to the downside. Obviously, we're not going to be trading the DXY. We are going to be expecting this move on the DXY. Then we go to gold and all your other currency pairs to see what sort of structure they are creating before we start entering. Or we are looking at something that might happen, that might move like this to the upside, retest, maybe create a double top here and go down. You understand? This is also another possibility that we could be looking at. Or if price now decides to break this level here, what's this? Let me just zoom this like this, just to make sure that I'm marking the correct levels. Okay, cool. Let's just assume this level here. This is where price was going to bounce off. Or we expect prices to break that level like so. Going from where it is now, shooting to the upside, breaking that level, coming back to retest before shooting to the above level. You understand? So these are the possible scenarios coming in the week that we're going to. And if this breakout happens, guys, we're expecting price to move to 90% capacity. So if you are paying attention to the breakout strategies that I was teaching on the course, you would expect now something that's going to come here. Now, because we're going to be treating that as a flag, we're going to expect price to explode in this direction. But judging by the news, guys, the US dollar is very much losing momentum. So I'm gonna go to the higher time frame so I can show you something. So if it does happen, it's going to move something like this to that level there that's marked off. You see how accurate it was? So we're expecting price to do something like that. You understand? If it goes down, it will move straight down. It will move straight down to this level here. It will move straight down to this level, possibly breaking. Why am I expecting it to break? If we move to the higher time frame, this is what I didn't consider last week. I didn't check that because I was more focused on other things. So if we move up to the higher time frame, let's delete these on the lower time frame so that everything here can become clearer. So checking on the higher time frame, I'm sure you guys can see now. Checking on this higher time frame, what are we looking at here? Here we're looking at something that looks like this. It's basically a head and shoulders pattern, you understand? As you can see, okay, let's say from here, created a shoulder, came back to retest. And it impulsed to the upside. Oh my goodness. It impulsed to the upside, straight up, created a head, then came back down, created liquidity, which is the neckline, and then it went back up again. Why do I keep missing this, man? Why do I keep releasing it? Okay, it went back up here to retest that that head right over there. Now what we expect it to do, you see this head here, I mean this shoulder here, that level, it retested that level. Now what we expect it to do now is to come back to where I said it will come back and possibly break. But we're not going to take that as a break until it breaks. So what we wanted to do now is we want price to actually break that level, break, come back to retest before coming down to this level. But all in all, price is coming here. And now you can see, we said that price is going to go down, but we don't know when it was going to go down. Now we're seeing these actual pattern being created in the market. Now we're getting more confluence as to price moving down. And the fundamentals also are actually adding on to those influences. So now we're expecting price to break levels on this lower time frame bearishly. So we want price to break down bearishly and shoot to the downside. Or if that does not happen, we wait for price to actually break these structural levels that we've actually marked off here. These structural levels here. If price breaks this level, comes back to retest, we will take buys, obviously. If it breaks this level here, then we'll be taking sells. Or if now that we have a flag, just like I said here on the lower time frame, is it 1 hour? Yeah, I think it's 1 hour. Now that we can see a clear flag here forming, this is what we will be expecting to do. We can either sell when market opens, sell, or we can wait for price to actually break this level and then come back to retest before we actually take those sells. And I'm sure it's probably going to retest these levels here. You understand? And then we can start taking those sells. Or we can wait for price to actually break above, come back to retest, go back up again to see what it's going to do here. If it creates a double top, then we can sell. If it breaks and retest, then we can buy. So now it's all up to you guys. But we know how channels moves, right, guys? Channels move from support here at the bottom. It goes up to resistance here at the top. So possibilities of consolidation or big moves from this level to this levels are to be expected before we start selling, or breaks and retests before we start buying. So I'm sure you guys can see how I'm actually analyzing the chart. And guys, now sorry about this, sorry to break out. So what's going to happen is, if you see this now, if you see something like this forming on the DXY, remember we're not trading the DXY because the spread is too high. If you can afford to trade it, you can trade it. But what we're looking for here, we are looking at a slight indicator of price direction, guys. So if price is going to go up on these currency pairs or go down on these currency pairs, we first start by confirming on the DXY. Then we go and look for patterns and all these things on these other currency pairs like gold, Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY, and so on. You understand? So if you're looking at the lower time frame, guys, you can also see that on this 5 minute there is a consolidation to the upside. Excuse me. There is a consolidation to the upside. If you're seeing this big manipulation or this indecision candle here, this is the news that were being traded on Friday, the NFP news. So now, as you can see, this is a rising channel. So obviously now, because we're seeing this pattern, you can say it's a flag. Once it reaches this order block here, this will be here, this order block here. Once it reaches here, we're expecting it to retest and move to the downside, confirming what we have just analyzed. If it's not going to do that, it's going to break up, retest, and move to the upside. So yeah, guys, that's it for today. I hope it made sense. Probably see you again sometime this week or next week, Sunday again.